Well, we're here, folks. The 9/11 episode, the Nick Cage Fight Podcast. I don't know what else to say. I think we should just get to it. Never forget. One of your hosts, Josh, joined, as always, by Rich and Ryan. And before I ask them how they're doing today, just a quick preamble. I mean, we look at the statistics sometimes for this podcast. I mean, we don't do it for the money. We do it for the fame. Specifically, but we have some listeners.
I do it for the glory.
we have some listeners
I do it for the loose change.
outside the United States, and our names are on it, and we're probably going to say some things that might be considered mildly offensive, despite the fact that we're talking about a movie. So just real quick, especially if you're not from the United States, the level of contempt that we hold for topics related to 9/11 really has nothing to do with the place or the people who were affected by it at the time. It's sort of everything else that came after, spinning into excuses for imperialist wars that caused over a decade of reverberations all over the place. And sort of, so it's the idea of the event of 9/11 and what it was utilized to do, which is why we don't have a whole hell of a lot of personal respect for the invoking of that as some sort of sacred event that you can't talk about or participate in discourse about. So we're not going to do that. I feel like we definitely preambled that a lot in our previous episode. So again, no disrespect to victims or people impacted by it, but this movie is dog shit, and strap in because we're going to tell you about it. How are we guys doing?
Wait, so can I make steel beam jokes now?
Yeah,
We're good.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna hold off. There's only so many you can make. So
Bush did 3/11. Amber is the color of your World Trade Center. Let's just get this shit show on
there
the
you
road.
go. Yep. Yeah. No, the lawyers are happy, so we can continue from here.
Both solid. B+ jokes, Ryan. I would say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very solid. You could fill out a tight 5 with those.
I probably could.
So let's start this off before I tell you the title of the film. Even though Rich told us all at the end of the last episode, I forgot what this was called, so I had to Google 9/11 Nick Cage film.
I thought you were going to Google 9/11 the movie.
Well, to be fair, that was my first one, and let me tell you, it made so many fucking movies.
Wait.
And most of them are like on like insane people's YouTube channels and shit. So
yeah,
9/11 movies on eBay.
I need to know if there are any like 9/11 exploitation horror movies, like the fucking planes are sentient and they hate us or some shit like that.
now that I might actually
That
fucking
would be
I know I'd watch
of my
that.
own volition.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, there was a 9/11 movie made in 2017 starring Charlie Sheen.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Is this just what we're gonna do now?
Charlie Sheen, Gina Gershon, and Whoopi Goldberg.
What the fuck?
Oh, no wonder nobody ever talks about that. They don't want anybody to talk about that.
Oh my god, you need to look at this insane movie poster. I'm not good with Eastern alphabets, so I don't know. It looks like Japanese to me, but I'm not positive. I'm linking
Ryan will be
it
able to pick it out.
because you guys need to see this.
All right. I'm pulling it up.
Is that Luis Guzman? That's Luis Guzman.
Yeah, that's the Japanese movie poster, and yeah, that is Luis Guzman.
They made Charlie Sheen one of the trade towers.
Jesus Christ. All right. Before we get too distracted, here's the basic rundown. The movie is called World Trade Center. Came out in 2006. So Oliver Stone waited a full 5 years before trying whatever he was trying here.
I mean, that's longer than he waited for his Vietnam documentary.
There you go. It's PG-13, and it is an absolute slog at 2 hours and 9 minutes.
Wait, it's PG-13. They squeeze like 25 fucks into this movie.
I
guess, yeah, but it's historical and
it's historical, and the children need to know what
it's like the
what nines their
Romeo
11s.
and Juliet from like the 60s or some shit. Like, it's okay if it's educational.
Yeah.
I don't know that this is educational, but let's
I'm
dive
sure
into
that's
housekeeping.
what the MPAA was thinking, that this is going to be shown in
Sure.
fucking history classes by hungover teachers in 30 years.
I can 100% see Oliver Stone like glaring at all of them, and they try to give it an R. He's like, "Oh, you hate America. Oh, I see. So you think the terrorists were right, didn't you? PG-13 or the terrorists have won.
So,
I will shoot
Uh,
JFK again."
hopping into housekeeping on this. So, the director, Oliver Stone, has directed some other films, such as JFK,
Bad.
Platoon,
Bad.
Natural Born Killers,
Naturally, Platoon's
Born on the
bad.
4th of July,
bad.
Snowden.
No. Other way around. Natural Born Killers is bad.
Yeah,
Wall
but so is
Street.
Born on 4th of July.
Yeah. I
Nixon.
said bad for each of those.
So, yeah, it's Oliver Stone. It's an Oliver Stone joint.
Sorry, we're just be doing bits over everything you say.
Yeah,
I'm so
no, I know.
sorry.
No, please.
It
It's
is
the only thing
kinda
that's going to get me
necessary.
through this, man.
It's the only thing keeping me sane.
Fighting for my fucking life here, okay? On to the writers. We've got Andrea Berloff, was the primary writer, well, the only writer for this, who has also done Sleepless, The Kitchen, and Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like,
That's-
what? I beg your pardon?
Well,
That
Straight
was
Outta
like-
Compton was not great. It was
Yeah.
fine, but it's not like it was.
It's just a weird fucking next movie after this 9 years later for her to do.
Yeah, it was one of these things is not like the others to me, personally.
Yeah, it's like she did World Trade Center, Straight Outta Compton, and then it looks like literally 4 direct to Amazon movies. Like this movie, Sleepless. If you just look at the cover, replace Jamie Foxx with Nick Cage.
She wrote that fucking Mel Gibson geezer teaser, Bloodfather.
Yeah, and that
Movie
looks like
sucked.
it looks like just a direct to Amazon movie.
Yeah.
So then John and Donna McLaughlin also have a writing credit, but it's just persons the character was based on. And this is where I want to take a brief moment before we get into why. I would not want a biopic made about me if this was my experience.
Nah.
I would opt out of that. Although the check would probably make me think twice. So I don't know. It's easy for me to say shit like that because nobody's ever offered me money for my dog shit life story. But
right, but it's also like they didn't break new ground or like. All right, the only thing that I can really compare,
there's
not
plenty
the
of
only
broken
thing,
ground in this story.
but fuck yeah.
I'll
So
tell you what
good.
this reminded
But-
me of was a fucking Lifetime original based on a true story.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like, so what I'm going to compare it to, because I think this is what Oliver Stone had in mind. I think he thought this was going to be his Titanic, where like we know the end of the story and it's going to be kind of like how we get there is the story. You know what I mean? And
The
like
problem with
Titanic
that, though,
is
is
something that did it right. And this is a movie that literally had the towers collapse like 9 minutes in.
And they didn't make any of
11
the
seconds.
characters likable.
No one was
no,
likable.
they did, especially McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Just
He seemed
make them
like a crazy person for
Like-
a majority of the film.
just make them fictional. They went from cops to essentially being firefighters anyway. Make it firefighters.
Just make it firefighters.
Just make it firefighters.
By the way, my shock, this was the first time I saw this film, was watching it for this. And the movie starts and I was like, wait a minute, this is about fucking cops? I thought it was firefighters.
but well, because 6 minutes in, they basically retcon it. He's just like, okay, leave all your weapons here and put on this firefighting stuff.
Which is fucking insane because the baton would have actually possibly been useful.
The guns would have been useful. Also, the gun thing doesn't play out either. 'cause
They
take
all
those.
kept their fucking guns. It's
Well,
the batons they left.
Well, there might be
Oh, yeah, 'cause
minorities
the
in that
batons,
building.
the hats,
So
and the notepads. That's right. I forgot. All right, so let's get to the cast. First up, we have Nick Cage as John McLaughlin. I'm not giving kudos to Nick Cage for
No,
this movie. 'cause-
he does some
I-
fine yelling. He does some fine yelling. Is all
No,
I'll say.
I am annoyed that I had to watch this for this podcast. Next up, we have Michael Pena, who usually I like.
Because they
as-
usually give him some room to make you laugh.
yeah, I
And
did
he
not
still
laugh
had-
at his
he still had
performance
one
in
No,
this.
solid
I
joke, though,
laughed
and we'll get
once.
to it.
He does have one solid joke.
We'll get to it.
Michael Pena is playing Will Jimeno. Pena's been in Crash, End of Watch, Ant-Man, American Hustle, The Martian, Shooter, And one of my personal favorites, Observe and Report.
Absolutely perfect film.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
That
I know.
I will say this though, that movie is a litmus test, at least for me, for people who will get or be very upset with my personal sense of humor. Because
I saw
think
that in
movie is
theaters.
fucking hilarious.
Most of the theater when I saw that walked out. I was not one of them. I'll tell you that much. I was the one guy in the back laughing maniacally.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that I still quote that movie regularly. The how's it hanging? Low, I hope. I have to stop myself from doing that in professional emails all the time.
I work the kind of job where I think I could get away with that. So I'm going to start adding that to my repertoire.
Open it up with how's it hanging? Low, I hope.
I hope.
As per my last email. Next up we have Maria Bello as Donna McLaughlin. Maria Bello is in The Cooler, A History of Violence, Coyote Ugly, Thank You for Smoking, and Secret Window. I managed to pick out a bunch of films that I didn't particularly hate, except for Coyote Ugly. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Coyote Ugly it's worse Showgirls.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
It's if Showgirls and Cocktail had a baby, and it was worse than both of those.
Fair. Next up, we have Maggie Gyllenhaal as Allison Imeno, who was in Frank, Crazy Heart, The Dark Knight, Adaptation, Donnie Darko. She has a sibling that's more famous. I don't know. You know who Maggie Gyllenhaal is?
Shout out the
forget
dudes.
Secretary. That's the one.
Oh, Secretary. My bad.
Where she gets spanked.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Next up, we have Connor Paolo as Stephen McLaughlin. He was in Stakeland, which is the main thing I know him from.
Oh, was that a vampire hunting joint? I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You know the one.
Mm-hmm.
It had a number of like spin-off things and then a sequel, not recently, but newish to me. I watched it like a year or so ago. I can't remember.
Right.
He was in Alexander, Friend Request, and he was in Mystic River.
Oh, I did like Mystic River. That's a sad, weird, fucking fucked up movie.
It was a really good movie. I enjoyed it very much. And then, did you guys ever watch Mare of Easttown?
No, I did not.
All right. Listen, never mind. Actually, I'm not even going to say because neither of you have seen it. It's not a bad show. I recommend it.
I'll tell you the one thing I know about
that's
that show
the
is
Hoagie Mouth show, right?
Yep, Hoagie Mouth, full on.
All I know about it is that for the longest time, I thought it was a political thriller about a mayor, not,
You thought it was Mayor of Easttown?
I thought it was Mayor of Easttown because I only heard people say it.
That's what happens when you don't see things written.
This is true.
Next up, we have John Bernthal as Christopher Amoroso. Now, by the way, before I get into Bernthal's CV here, this is full on fucking false advertising because he is in this movie for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not nearly enough Bernthal for me. But he was in The Accountant, Wolf of Wall Street, Many Saints of Newark, We Own This City, The Bear, Baby Driver, Wind River, which is a fantastic film, and Sicario.
And I'll shout out a video game he voiced. He was in Manhunt, that game that everyone was all fucking insane about when it first came out. It was
the this is gonna make kids murderers.
Absolutely. Yeah. The one where you can kill a man with a plastic bag over his head and you get chased by a dude in a fucking pigskin mask with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah.
Now also, by the way, Michael Shannon was in this movie, but as I mentioned to my fellow hosts before we started this episode, IMDb spent like all of their fucking real estate on the children playing members of the McLaughlin family that were in very little of the actual movie.
Oh, the worst child actors.
Oh, and I do have one other person to mention. Jay Hernandez is in this film as Dominic Pizzulo, and I recognized him primarily just because he was in Hostel. He was like the main character in the first Hostel film, but he was also in Friday Night Lights. He was in Suicide Squad. He did a voice in Toy Story 4. He's been in some shit.
I mean, two people, I guess I'll shout out, but like, I don't know, not really shout out. I think it's only one person actually. is I'm going to shout out Nicholas. Oh my God, what the hell is his
Cage?
last name?
Turturro.
Turturro, yeah.
Yeah, that's John Turturro's older
It's
brother.
John Turturro's older brother, and he basically just always plays cops because he looks like a fucking cop.
Yep. And I'll shout out Martin Pfefferkorn. He plays a homeless addict in this, according to the credits, but he was in some interesting stuff. He was in Death to Smoochie as an uncredited meth addict. He does some voices for Grand Theft Auto 2. He's an uncredited prisoner in The Sopranos. And, he's in like fucking Men in Black 2. There was another one. Scroll up. Oh, and he's a homeless man in fucking Cloverfield. But of his like 100 credits, most of them are either homeless person or substance addict.
Well, I mean, he knows his lane.
He's a character actor.
Yeah.
The only one that I'm seeing scrolling down here that isn't one of those is he's listed as a Aryan inmate in something called Person of Interest.
Oh, that's like a CBS
that's
show.
That's still in line.
That is still in line. He's in fucking Sharknado 2 for some reason too.
Of course, because it's fucking Sharknado 2.
But good for him. He's got a niche. He fills it.
All right. So
also, should we shout out Viola Davis?
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. That's right.
Yeah, she was here. She was there. She's Viola
Very
Davis.
briefly.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
it.
And now we interrupt this remembrance of a national tragedy with some advertisements. If we don't run these ads, the terrorists did win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The terrorists, they don't like capitalism. And Josh does. Josh loves it.
He's such an asshole. Yeah, listen to these ads.
"9/11 the T-shirt, 9/11 the ice cream bar, 9/11 the flamethrower." The kids love this one. The last one, me, 9/11 the doll.
The ads might be the high.
I would guess the doll would say, "Jet fuel can't melt steel beams." That's what the doll would say.
There's a couple things it could say. So we gotta talk about the plot. I don't want to talk about the plot, but we know
the
to.
plot. Like 9/11 happens.
So here's the one thing though. I did not know the plot.
No, I did not expect this to be the plot.
This at all. At all. I thought I was walking into a totally different movie.
I thought it was going to be kind of like not a garden variety thriller, but like kind of that, where it's going to be like the events leading up to kind of spread out more. And then like the last 30 minutes, like the planes would hit like halfway through. And then like the last 30 minutes is them falling, and then like kind of the aftermath. That is not what we get, dear listener.
Yeah, that would have made more sense and been an actual cogent film.
Yeah, there was a number of ways they could have gone about making this movie that would have been intriguing, if not my cup of tea. The way they chose to go, I do not understand at all. So let's get into why maybe I didn't get it. So we start off on the McLaughlin household, where a man gets out of bed with his wife to shower. It's dark. Also, all of these shots suck shit. It is pitch fucking black for no good reason.
Most of this movie is ugly as shit, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's that fucking episode of Game of Thrones everybody complained about bad, but there's no fucking dragons in it. So worse by far.
Points against.
Yeah,
there should have been dragons. 9/11 should have had dragons.
Look, that would have been a way more interesting movie, and I'm gonna greenlight that right now. Maybe we start working on a spec script where it's an alternate universe where dragons exist, and it was the dragons that did the 9/11.
Reign of Fire 2.
Reign of Fire 2. No, Reign of Fire 9/11.
Yeah. Reign of Fire 2, but the 2 is Roman numerals, and we throw a slash over top of it. I've watched the shit out of that movie.
I know.
I mean, and Ryan brought up I would think an even better movie before we started recording, But if you want to hear that, I mean, I'll tell you now, but if you want to actually hear stuff like that in the future, sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/NickCageFight. You can hear the whole shit. But Ryan had brought up, what if the planes were like sentient? Oh my God, I can't say this word. Ryan.
Sentient.
Yes, thank you. And like, they were just like, you know what? These buildings, they're too tall, man. Fuck them. And just went
Fucking
right into
hate buildings is what the plane says. It's the what's that Thomas the Tank Engine ripoff with the planes? It's just that, but they hate buildings.
Oh shit! All right, cue me sending a bunch of emails to Christian Bale's agent. They'd be like, "Stop trying to pitch us Rain of Fire 2, but it's 9/11." So we get the high point of this film as soon as McLaughlin's character leaves the house, because we see it's Nick Cage and he's got a mustache. But unfortunately,
It's a bad mustache.
Yeah,
It's a mustache.
but a facial hair Cage is always preferable.
That's it. But even Cage with facial hair could not save this film.
No. When I saw the mustache, my thought was, okay, maybe Josh was wrong. Maybe this movie doesn't suck because he has
maybe
facial
we could
hair.
ride this mustache all the way to the credits, but you can't. You
No.
couldn't do it. So then we see Michael Pena's character also leave the house, but luckily we're not subjected to awful number of pitch black shots to establish that for whatever fucking reason. Oh, also, the one other thing about this scene, like McLaughlin has too many kids. We get a shot of him opening the door to look in on all of his kids, and they've like all got their own bedrooms. So he's like opening and shutting 4 fucking doors at like 6 a.m.
Oh yeah, he
Terrible.
seems like an awful father and husband.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you're gonna wake up your kids at 4 a.m. You're gonna fuck up their REM cycle. They're gonna fail that math test, and then you're gonna beat them. I don't know, something about 40%.
His kids are also, they show themselves to not be particularly bright later on in the movie, but I think that's probably
his son is dumb as shit.
I don't think
His
this
son
movie did.
His son is dumb and selfish.
And the other kids call him on it, which I thought was fucking funny too. Anyway, now we get some general New York City B-roll, but peppered in there, at least we get to see Bernthal on a ferry for like a half a second, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm excited to see some Bernthal in this film.
You will be disappointed.
Yeah, we see Pena, Will Jimeno driving into the city, and for no fucking reason at all, we get text flash across the screen to let us know it's September 11th, 2000.
Even though they already established it in the fucking car scene with Nick Cage. He turns on the fucking news and it says today's date, September 11th. They established the date 6 times. You didn't.
This is
need
a
the
movie
text.
for half-wits. What do you expect? This was like a movie they meant to fucking screen at the Child Mind Institute.
So unnecessary. So then we cut to a police station where John
Where they once again
McLaughlin
say the date.
is working. Pena's character is apparently a rookie with this police force, and then we get Pizzulo, who is the dude from Hostel, which, by the way, I totally missed him when I was writing up housekeeping, so I was like, oh shit, it's the dude from Hostel.
Is he the guy that looks like a Dick Tracy villain?
No, I must have missed him.
Okay, because there's a guy with a real fucked up face in that police force.
Hey, hell yeah, man, accurate depictions.
Yeah.
I'm all about that representation.
Yeah, the dude looked like his gene pool was about an inch deep.
Rough. It happens. So the police are doing their pre-shift meeting and giving out assignments. Pena patrols. This is about as much personality as we get from his character, because he's halfway charming while he's running the homeless dude's pfeffercorn off of the Jackie Gleason statue.
Yeah, but I agree with the homeless dudes. We're like, yeah, he's fucking dead. What does he care? And I'm like, okay, Jackie Gleason would not care if some homeless dudes were sitting on his statue. He'd be like, hell yeah, take a load off.
Yeah, I agree. So this was one of the wildest decisions in the film coming up. So a tourist stops Pena.
Oh
and
yeah,
asks,
what the fuck's up with this subplot?
No. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. This was just a shot composition that made zero sense to me.
Okay, no, I know exactly what it is because they were setting up for something that doesn't fucking resolve. When they're in like the sit rep where they're like getting their assignments for the day, they talk about and keep an eye out for this 12-year-old girl who's supposedly coming in on a train through Port Authority, who's a runaway from Rhode Island. And fucking Michael Pena looks over and it's clearly the girl being picked up by what seems to be a pimp. And then the fucking two tourists flag him down.
I didn't get that at all. I remember the girl part.
My brain had already slid out of one of
That's
my
100% what was going on there. That the tourists dragged his attention away, and then the girl and the clearly dude with ill intentions are gone.
Yeah, no. That was full on just a Halloween costume that guy was wearing. No, this is the part I'm talking about. So the tourist distracts him, right? And then a shadow passes over his head.
Oh, you mean the Jaws shot?
The Jaws shot.
Yeah.
For 9/11, we have a Jaws plane. I don't fucking understand it. The shadow passes over him. He turns and looks, and you see the shadow of a plane pass over the face.
Yeah, this
of
is
building.
the exact same scene. This all happens in 15 seconds.
I know.
Including the
And
shit
like,
that I just broke down.
I'm like, what the fuck are they doing here? What is this?
Oliver Stone, why are you foreshadowing 9/11? We know what the fuck happens.
We know the date.
You don't need to foreshadow it with, oh, that was a big shadow. I wonder what that was. It was a plane. We know it was a fucking plane.
It was.
And planes don't cast shadows like that.
The shadow was obviously the shadow of a plane. It just that shot blew my fucking mind. I could not believe they did that. And it made it through post.
This is one thing I'm going to mention is, all right, I fucking hate Oliver Stone. I was very vocal about that last podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Doors movie's all right. It's got Kyle MacLachlan. He learned to play fucking piano for that shit.
Look, man, I'm just mad about his role in Iran-Contra, you know?
But, like, okay, in, like, fucking JFK, he did some weird shit. That was good.
Okay. I needed one of you to acknowledge that, because it was like,
good.
Otherwise, people are going to think I'm fucking stupid.
No, that was good. No, like, in the JFK movie, it was fucking abysmal. But he at least like dug into some of the conspiracy theories, which kind of made it like a little bit interesting.
The only good thing about that JFK movie is the Seinfeld episode that came from it.
I agree. I'm just saying it could have been interesting. Like you can at least sit back and kind of be like, what if? Because he did some interesting things with it.
Yeah, what
they
if
weren't
back
good
into the left?
Yeah, basically, what if back into the left? But
what if back into the left?
In this, they didn't do any of that. They didn't plant any seeds. There was nobody running around with like C4s on the bases of the buildings or anything.
That's what you wanted?
That's what I wanted. I mean,
okay.
What I actually wanted was the first half of this to be the 9/11 fucking ground zero cleanup, and then the second half to be a fucking congressional hearing where they pull that JFK shit. And it's just some nut job talking about conspiracy theories.
That would have been a better movie.
Hour. It would have been a better movie.
You know how we should have known 100% this was going to be a dog shit representation is they had the opportunity had to be there. I don't know if they even reached out to him, and if they did, him saying no, but they could have gotten fucking Buscemi.
Absolutely. I was talking about that to the dude I was watching this with. We were both like, is Steve Buscemi going to show up? He was actually there.
Right?
That would have been very interesting.
I would have been intrigued by that. But no, instead we got this.
Give us a Steve Buscemi movie.
Yeah.
Give me Steve Buscemi playing himself on 9/11.
Yeah, because
Steve Buscemi as Steve Buscemi, I would have sat through the credits for that.
Yeah, he was a firefighter before he was an actor. Like, he actually had the knowledge and know-how to be able to help there. It's just fucking wild.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh, so you could say he Michael Shannoned it.
You could.
We will get to that later.
Yeah, except for the fact that Michael Shannon's character accidentally is useful. Buscemi actually was trained to do this.
Yeah.
We cut to I'm sorry. No, we cut to Bernthal in just some police station. It's probably a different one. I'm not even sure. It's the only time we see this interior, but he's in a police station when the first impact is felt. So we cut to a bunch of various cops seeing the news stories of the first plane hitting the towers. and they're going to go and help the evacuation of Tower 1. I did like this part. They fucking commandeer a commuter bus. Is that a thing? Are you allowed to do that as a cop?
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess when like, I don't, you know what? I don't know. I'm not positive.
Like, it's a full-on MTA bus that they're
Well,
just like,
this
everybody
is-
get off the fucking bus.
This is one of those things where like the timelines don't match up, and it could have made sense if Oliver Stone let it. Because I'm gonna jump into the next scene too, real quick. Because like they're on the bus, they're on the bus, and they're essentially all being like, "What the fuck is going on?" And the one guy comes and he's like, "I heard another plane hit," and they're just like, "Nah, no way, no." And then they get there, and and they're like, "You see, I told you it was fine. No other plane hit." In reality, at that point, the second plane had already hit, and they knew that, like, okay, this isn't a coincidence. Like, something is happening. And, like, Oliver Stone could have just made it, because I think that they did commandeer buses, but only after the second plane hit. Like, when the first plane hit, they were like, okay, this is a disaster, and it fucking sucks, but it was an accident. Like, we think we have time, yada, yada, yada. When the second plane hit is when everybody lost their goddamn minds, rightfully so.
Yeah.
And that's when they started commandeering buses. I looked
Gotcha.
way too far into 9/11 for this movie.
That's funny because I didn't at all. I was actually planning on pulling out some of my fucking 9/11 comic books because guess what? Marvel Comics was really dick hard for the concept of 9/11
Oh,
shortly
the
after it
fucking
happened.
the scene with Doctor Doom, like the villains and the heroes.
Yeah, and they're all like, "Who
Yeah.
could have done this?" Fucking Spider-Man all sad about it.
Wasn't there like a Doctor Doom like teardrop?
Yes, 100%.
That's
Like
amazing.
that
What?
was gonna be the main one,
What?
and then what? What?
What?
Have you not seen this?
No, what?
We
No,
They
sorry.
put out a
In-
bunch of
In
9/11
the
Memorial
comics, like these supervillains have tried to destroy the Earth numerous times, but like 3,000 people die in Doctor Doom's crime. Now I'm,
I'm sorry,
I'm
the
taking a break.
thumbnail-
I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break. I can't. Goodbye.
The,
Cool,
I
cool.
can't.
the
I
thumbnail
can't.
for this
I can't.
episode has got to be the
it's got to be
teardrop
Doctor
Dr.
Doom with the single tear. Yeah, so it was gonna be that, and then there was like fucking Art Spiegelman, the guy that did Mouse, did a comic called In the Shadow of the Towers that's like just as hackney. And the comic book community around New York, which is like DC and fucking Marvel and like a bunch of independents, went insane after
Oh,
9/11.
I'm sorry. I found it.
You found it beautiful.
Hold on.
Is
Hold
this
on.
going to have to be the picture
Oh,
that I
that's-
use?
100%.
That's what you missed when you walked away for those like 15 seconds.
There you go.
Oh
Beautiful,
no!
man.
That's so bad.
Because
I-
even the worst of us, however scarred, are still human, still feel, still mourn the random deaths of
It's so bad.
Yo,
It's
we were
So
so
fucking bad.
we
Who
were so
wrote that? Was
brain
that fucking
poisoned.
Bendis?
We
I
were
don't
so
know.
as a country
God, I gotta look this up. I need to know who
Absolutely.
fucking did this.
fucking brain poisoned for like 6 years after 9/11.
6. It went on longer than this movie came out 5 years after 9/11.
Well, no, but like millennial, like listen, after like 3 years, like you could make 9/11 jokes. They were edgy, but
they
like
were really
people
edgy
made
3
them.
years. 3
There's
years
a
after.
fucking Wikipedia for comics based on the 9/11
Oh
attacks.
my god. There was the 10 years after 2011 on, then it became acceptable as a public opinion to feel a negative way about the impact of 9/11. Excuse me, not just put your hand over your heart every time somebody mentioned it.
Oh, beautiful.
Fucking Rick Veitch, one of the artists for Swamp Thing, wrote a comic book involving a woman traveling back in time in an attempt to save the lives of those at the World Trade Center at the time of the attack.
Good lord.
Oh, it was J. Michael Straczynski. It was the guy that started Babylon 5 that wrote that fucking issue.
So, all right. So real quick, Rich thankfully fast forwarded us, but I do got to talk about something else. So as the bus is approaching where they're going to start helping with the evacuation, we get another glimpse into how little sense of linear storytelling Oliver has here, because they're having a really hard time figuring out how to depict the chaos that is occurring at this time. So they're they're driving there. There's like papers raining down in the streets. They pass a dude who appears to be having a heart attack on the sidewalk, but it is depicted like it's a fucking cartoon because his tongue is literally like lolling out of his mouth.
Is it like an "Oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming"?
It's absurd. It makes no fucking sense. Then there's people like running down the streets. Half of them look perfectly fine. Others randomly are covered in like ash, and there's no sort of rhyme or reason to who is what or why.
Oh, this is where my favorite scene happens, where there's a woman just screaming down the road that she's on fire. Wait, she's not on fire, by the way.
Oh, is this also where there's just a dude like dead on the fucking road, and you think that he had a heart attack because he saw it happen? But I think he fell.
His tongue is literally hanging out of his mouth. Whoever pulled that extra bit, he's like, I'm gonna fucking sell it. They're like, they tell me I'm a guy having a heart attack. You're gonna fucking know. I might not have a line, but I'm gonna get it across.
But and this woman yelling and screaming, it sounds like Jenna Maroney from 30 Rock.
There you go.
It did.
I'm about to say I'll find the scene and just play that quick 3-second clip because it's genuinely the high point of the film for me.
So they arrive, and McLaughlin is asking for people who know how to use first responder gear. I think he says the name of the
it's like scout pack.
I have no idea.
Some shit like that.
But Jimeno and the kid from Hostel, Pizzulo, and a few others step forward. They send Jimeno to go stick their batons and hats and notepads in an SUV parked down a side street. So he runs off, but this is just so that he can run back and tell us. First of all, he doesn't have any of the gear anybody handed him, but he's like, oh, by the way, that SUV is gone. And nobody goes, where's the stuff? Where did you just drop it in the street?
Beating stick back.
Wait, so I found the scene, and I'm sorry that I'm gonna make you guys.
No, go for it, man.
God, that's such a bad mustache.
It really is.
Oh.
At least it's a mustache.
All right, here's my favorite part, everyone.
I'm not getting audio.
Oh, god damn it.
I see her going, though.
She's going.
She's fucking trucking. It's fucking paper falling from the sky like rain. Oh, God, this movie sucked so bad.
It fucking did.
Oh, even that expression you have it frozen on his face. It's so bad.
Oh, share sound, because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a pro podcaster, everyone.
We do this for a living.
Do we, though?
No. That was a joke.
So was mine.
Here we go.
I don't.
She says I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
But she's
the words. I'm on fire. She said the words.
Saying they're all dying.
No, she said I'm on fire.
One more time.
No.
She said I'm on fire.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'll let you know what she says when I fucking put the amplify layer on that shit later and see what make it actually listenable.
All right, but you know what? You don't have to amplify.
Lord knows that fucking Oliver Stone doesn't know how to mix audio.
You know you don't have to amplify.
Rampant consumerism.
Yep. Listen to these ads. They're going to be perfect quality, and they're going to buffer better than any of the rest of this episode. So fucking enjoy it, man.
Yeah, I have no transition back from this.
What? I do. I have one. What kind of ads do you think are playing over a 9/11 episode?
Oh.
What kind of advertiser? Some poor fucking intern.
fucking Exxon gasoline.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Some poor intern is gonna get an email and they're gonna be like, wait. Well, one of our ads played on an episode of a podcast covering the movie World Trade Center. Do we want our brand associated with 9/11?
I'm hoping it's not the specific airline.
Oh, if it's United Airlines, that would be so good.
Again, now I'm just picturing an intern running out of a cubicle row. He's like, we have a code 911. We have a code 911.
Fly our new flight, United 93, out of central Pennsylvania.
Okay, there you go. That's a fucking.
Did we already get
transition
past
back.
the part where someone was like, "The Pentagon was nuked. There's nothing there."
We have
No.
not. They
Okay.
say the Pentagon was hit by a missile and that Israel was nuked and wiped off the face of the earth.
Oh yeah, I fucking
Oh my
forgot
god,
about
I
that
forgot
one.
about that too.
But is Palestine okay?
So the volunteers from the squad of police officers go and get firefighter gear from somewhere in the like concourse between the towers. I was a child when this happened in the first place and thus unfamiliar with the layout of the World Trade Center. But they get their firefighter gear and they keep hearing like explosions and crashes. The group of officers run into Bernthal's character Amoroso, who joins up with them. There's a this is the part you're talking about. There's a bunch of misinformation just spreading through the ranks. It was like there was a second plane. No, there wasn't a second plane. The Pentagon got blown up by a missile and Israel got nuked. All of that stuff lands while they're trying to get this stuff together. They fill a cart with extra firefighter gear. Like, I don't know if they're planning on deputizing people or what exactly is going on with that, but they're trucking along with this cart. They pass real firefighters at one point who the thing that cracked me up is like they don't interact with each other or share information at all. They're just like, what's up?
Well, no, didn't the firefighters say we just spent an hour trying to get to like the 30th floor and you can't? So we're going to Tower 1, I think they said.
Yeah, something like that. They get a call telling them not to go to Tower 1, but to rendezvous on the street, on a specific street. And then after they get this call, there's like a massive explosion sound and the concourse itself that they're on starts to collapse. So we get a slow motion yelling of run from Nick Cage here as the cops flee for the elevator shaft and the place collapses around them. We are not super far into this movie at this point.
Like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So 9/11 has happened and now McLaughlin wakes up covered in rubble in the dark. Jimeno and the kid from Hostel are also in the rubble. They call out to each other. No one else does. Everybody else in this squad, including Bernthal, is dead, killed in the collapse. So it was at this point I'm like, is this going to be the rest of the fucking movie? And the answer is yes. This is going to be the rest of the fucking movie, with them trapped in rubble and then like checking in on their families and really nothing else.
And like, just so everybody knows too, we're not being hyperbolic. I'm not going to share a screen or anything, but this happens. Let's see what actual. Literally 25 minutes in
to a 2-hour movie.
24 minutes and 33 seconds is when this happens. There is an hour 44 left of this fucking, I'm not even going to call it a movie. That's an insult to The Godfather 2.
Fair. I just found some cursed information. Alan Moore did a 9/11 tribute comic.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, did Cthulhu do 9/11 or something?
I was gonna
that'd be
say,
dope.
what's the twist?
The twist is that it was chaos magic's fault and entropy kills all. I'm not kidding. I just read like 3 fucking panels of it, and that seems to be the actual case.
That's
Thanks,
weird.
Alan.
So McLaughlin, like we learn this later. You only ever see like Nick Cage laying on his side. And it's like a shoulder up shot for whatever reason. But he explains that like his legs are pinned and his knees are smashed. Jimeno
His dick's all fucked up.
Yes, it looks like a chicken pot pie down there. Jimeno is has got like a big fucking slab of concrete basically on his chest, and it looks like Pizzulo is the only one who's free to move about at all. He tries to get Jimeno free, but can't lift the slab off of him himself. He suggests climbing out to go for help, but McLaughlin tells him not to. So Pizzulo stays, and then another rumble occurs, and a ton more rocks and dust come crashing down on them, and Pizzulo gets smashed. He gets mashed real bad by some falling piece of rock, and so he is clearly dying quicker than anybody else.
She's mashing it.
Yeah, no, he
Is she the tower?
Yeah. The tower's a she.
Cool.
Oh, I'm sure you can find some art.
Bitches
along-
be
I
crazy.
know. I've seen it. I've been on the internet since 9/11 happened. I know the image. I'm not going to find it and then post it though. That would be distasteful.
we already have the thumbnail for the episode. We already decided that one.
Well, what the original thumbnail was going to be the dude whispering into George Bush's ear. Like that was going to be the thumbnail, but this is better.
That's good, but Doctor Doom crying over 9/11 is better. It's
Yeah,
way
it
better.
is.
I'll just save it for the second one. It's okay.
There you go. So yeah, so Pizzulo is crushed.
My fucking god. Okay, keep going. I'm going to throw something in the group chat.
Oh, great. So here we get, and this the reason why they didn't do this is probably so they could maintain the PG-13 thing, but Pizzulo shares basically a tearful goodbye with Jimeno. Also, we start the trend of all of these dudes telling each other that they love each other. This is the only part of the movie I'm not going to quibble with. Tell your bros you love them.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah,
all
but
the
it
time.
is. But for 2006 or 2001 or fucking whatever, this is not a dude's rock moment. This is.
I'll tell you what is a dude's rock moment.
This is a no homo moment.
Yeah, a dude's rock moment is noted porn comic artist Milo Manara making a 9/11 tribute, and it's just a sexy lady, and there's a plane barreling towards the window where she's standing.
Yikes. That's
Oh shit.
that's
Oh,
something, man.
Oh shit. Oh,
It's in the group chat.
I think
We'll
this
have
is
to
that's
say that
something.
one.
I think that this is going to take the place of George Bush.
No,
Sorry,
this is gonna-
Georgie.
This is gonna be episode 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so Pizzulo tells Jimeno that he loves him, and then he pulls out his gun. I'm like, what is happening here? And I think the implication is going to be like, Pizzulo is definitely on his way out and not in a good way, so he's just going to shoot himself, which seems like a more merciful way to go. But he dies in the middle of that and just ends up firing his gun into the air before expiring, sort of hunched over this pillar that has crushed almost all of his chest. The camera then, this is another insane move. This is just a weird decision. The camera pans up from this dark area that they're collapsed under to show the rubble of the buildings, but it pans up like a fucking sci-fi original series, you
Like
know what I
fucking
mean?
like
Where
you're
you
looking at it on
find out
Google
you're
Earth.
in a dystopia, it's
Okay, I gotta know who the fucking cinematographer was on this shit show now.
okay.
What the fuck else have you done?
Seamus McGarvey.
Okay, what else has Seamus done? Let's find out. We're gonna have ourselves a little
Wait, that's the real Seamus McGarvey.
McGarvey, yeah.
When
He
you
did High
first said it-
Fidelity.
When you first said it,
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were making a joke because I heard Shameless.
He did the
McGarvey.
Avengers.
He did that fucking American Godzilla movie that's actually good.
Wait, he did the first Avengers.
Yeah.
He did do the
Then
first,
I get
okay.
I get this fucking shot. Then
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what I was about to say.
He's done an
My
episode of
God.
Black Mirror.
yeah, all
The
this
next-
tracks.
The next
He
movie
did
he did after this
Atonement.
was a Charlotte's Web.
And
was
is that
actually
the one
Charlotte's
where
Web
Charlotte
first.
spins the message in the web that says Bush did 9/11?
Yeah, specifically.
missed
Real
that one.
weird, right?
All right. Oh,
Oh,
I forgot.
so it looks like he does a lot of like Oscar baity stuff. Like he did The Soloist, and We Need to Talk About Kevin, and like
Yeah, he
50
did
Shades of Grey.
Atonement was like a big fucking Oscar
Yeah.
bait movie that
Well,
everyone was
he
like, oh, that was
won
a
an
damn
Oscar
fart.
for that.
Really? I'm
Oh,
surprised
no,
that
he
won
was-
an Oscar. That movie
No,
was
no,
a damn
he
fart.
was nominated
Okay,
for an
all right.
Oscar for that.
So I forgot the very next scene after this was we shoot to satellites circling, and then footage of people like reacting to the news, and I think they pulled actual footage from 9/11, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
I'm pretty sure there was some like archival footage that they used for this movie.
Yeah.
Because it's an Oliver Stone joint. He loves that shit.
Yeah, and then we then we cut to Sheboygan, Wisconsin,
Sheboygan!
which is one of my favorite weird through lines in this film.
It's just one of my favorite place names.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of firefighters like at a local bar. He's like these fucking terrorists while they're eating hamburgers and shit.
They don't even say that. They're just silent and just say one word. It's like the one dude is just watching the news. Everyone's silent, just like bastards.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
I completely forgot this scene happened. So when they show up at the end and he's like, I'm gonna have one of these bratwursts, it's gonna be the best bratwurst you ever had. I was like, what the fuck? Sheboygan. What is going on? I feel like I'm losing my mind. This movie sucked so bad.
And then we cut to New Jersey, shout out, where Jimena's wife Maggie Gyllenhaal, her character Allison, is seeing the news, and she is terminally pregnant. She gets on the phone with her brother, who makes arrangements to have her picked up, and then we cut over to Mrs. McLaughlin and the other wives of like rescue workers, all watching the news.
And the one sounds so passive aggressive when she's like, I guess I'll call the other wives and let them know that things canceled tonight. She sounds so passive.
Well, no, that's actually really funny, because she was like, it doesn't make sense to have a den mothers meeting on 9/11.
No, but also, people listening who decide to want to watch this dog shit movie,
Don't.
don't. But the fact that we told you that Maggie Gyllenhaal is what's his name's wife or fiance or whoever,
fucking Himeno. I know his last name's
twist
Himeno.
for you, Rich.
It does not. This movie does not make that clear.
No, this movie is bad at being a movie. Because storytelling.
They spent 5 minutes focusing on Nick Cage, then we get the fucking sausage machines in Wisconsin, and then we get her. And I'm like, are we to believe that Maggie Gyllenhaal has a 15-year-old? Because she is like 27 in this movie.
Yeah, you know what?
Did cop Nick Cage get a 12-year-old pregnant? I mean, par for the course for NYPD, but
yeah. You know what? Honestly, I think this is a good place to stop.
I think that's fair. I think that's merciful.
I feel like we should have stopped 50 minutes ago.
I feel like you're right. It's wild. It's crazy that you say that, because it's so right.
But what are you gonna do? Okay, this is what we've chosen to do, and sometimes it means you have to relive 9/11 imagined as just a fever dream with weird shots cribbed from things like Jaws and absolutely no cognizant storytelling or vision behind it. It happens sometimes.
Yeah, like
sometimes Dr. Doom cries.
Sometimes Dr. Doom cries.
Only sometimes.
It's like sometimes we get to watch a movie that we think might be bad, but it's actually great. Sometimes we get to watch a movie we think is going to be great, but is actually bad. Then sometimes we get to watch a movie that we know is going to be bad and turns out to be even fucking worse.
Yeah, what like man-made horrors beyond our comprehension.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like we knew.
I was doing the editing
was
for
be bad.
Seeking Justice today, and Rich, you said that man-made horrors beyond our comprehension was going to be, and I shit you not, Bringing Out the Dead. A movie we all came out unanimously on top for.
Oh, it was amazing. Amazing movie.
Oh, that movie rocked so much.
Movie
that
was
a
so
great movie.
Now, that's a fucking New York movie.
Yeah.
Well, because also here everybody is doing that like super strong, like, hey, I'm walking here, hey, Tony down the block, get me a fucking roast beef sandwich with the fucking bread scooped out, put on some provolone. No,
the B-roll in the beginning had me. I was like, this is just, they're like, you're really hammering home this is New York. Like, we don't know where 9/11 happened.
Yeah, and like also I'm thinking like, yo, Oliver Stone knows that like nobody's from New York anymore, right? Like there is the only people with New York accents like live in Nassau County, Long Island, and like Hoboken. People in New York City don't have an accent because they're from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my experience in the city. Yeah, 100%.
so I do, like I said, it's an appropriate cliffhanger. If you want to find out what actually happened on 9/11, tune into our next episode. Spoiler alert for 9/11. Sorry. The concept is sending me a little bit right now.
I mean, look, like as everybody knows, the World Trade Towers, famously were saved by Doctor Doom.
By Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom famously
they collected the Infinity Stones.
He sent Latverian missionaries, and they rebuilt the towers all the way up.
Actually, that raises a solid question. Why in the Avengers movies, when they get all of the stones, do they not go back in time and stop 9/11?
That's a good
why
question.
Don't they stop 9/11?
Well,
don't stop the Holocaust
you're snapping
either.
your fingers to wish everybody back. Why don't you just also throw in a "I wish 9/11 didn't happen" wish?
Or like they literally have a main character whose job it was to like hate Adolf Hitler. You wouldn't think he would have just thrown in like hey, that Holocaust thing? Like it'd be really dope if that didn't happen.
And they sent him away with all of the stones. He could have fucking done something.
He could have done it. And like he also could have been like, hey, there's this thing. It's called fascism. It's really not cool. Like, let's stop that from happening.
Well, he does punch Hitler at some point in the comics, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
literally the first issue of Captain America ever published.
Yeah, we invented him so that we could have a fictional superhero.
The one where
punch.
he's like full fucking extended arm into Hitler's face is issue 1.
The one that just now lives on as a meme so much for the tolerant left is what Hitler's screaming as he gets punched. It's so funny. All right. Yeah, no, follow us in the meantime for riveting 9/11 commentary. You can find us on Xing and re-Xing at cagefight_pod. Yeah, I can't even really strongly recommend that you do that because that app is the Titanic in the middle of sinking. But we stand out as the musicians, man. We're playing our instruments as the ship goes down for your entertainment. So check us out.
Yeah, just stay here. Just be cool with us. Give us 5 stars on whatever fucking app you're listening on. On Spotify, someone had the gall to give us 2 stars.
Oh no!
Really?
What a dickhead!
Yeah, we're at like a
4.6. Fuck you!
Someone had the gall to not give us 5 stars.
We'll fucking trace your IP address and piss in your shoes.
Piss in your sink. That's a callback, baby.
That is a callback. Fucking.
Wait, did they provide any constructive criticism, or was it just 2 stars?
No, I think it was just a hater.
Yeah, I think it was just a hater. Nick Cage has gone woke. I don't know.
It was somebody from the Sink Pissers community that hasn't heard our glowing endorsement of their way of life from the Seeking Justice episode.
Yeah. Once that becomes public, I'm sure that will be changed.
We straight up want you to save 2 gallons of water every time you piss.
And listen, we're all from the general Philadelphia area, and Philadelphia Eagles fans are known for pissing in sinks during games
and throwing batteries at their sports heroes.
Good for them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if someone I don't like is walking my way, guess what? I just keep like 4 and 9-volt batteries with me at all
keep
times.
A pocket full of batteries. Yeah. You gotta. You never know.
Fucking D cells are where it's at. What are you talking about?
No. So I like the 9 volts because, like, if you catch someone on the edge, you might even actually get a little
zappy zap.
Yeah. Well, not just a little zappy zap, but if you catch them on like the edge of the 9-volt, you might get a little cut, get a little blood.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm with Ryan. The D cells and C cells, those will do some fucking damage.
No, they're aerodynamic, is what it is.
You can really fucking swing that around a couple times. You know what I mean?
Nah, man. If you're getting a sock, you fill that shit with party snaps. You take a man's head off.
There's a lot of ways you could have gone with that. I like that. Now I want to fucking try that. All right, here you go, guys.
I'm not going to offer myself as tribute on that one. Oh, yeah. No. Wait, I didn't even do a Patreon plug.
Plug the Patreon.
Plug it.
Patreon.com/Nick Cage Fight. $1 a month to get you every single episode without ads. We're now doing I think it's a $5 a month tier. You get like the episodes the day we record it. So like we're time traveling currently. You're listening to this on 9/11. We're
As you should.
recording this on August 31st. You could have it a whole like 10, 11 days earlier if you just give us like $5 a month.
A whole 9 to 11 days earlier.
There you go.
9 to 11 days. You see,
9 to 11 days.
everything comes around full circle of life. This is how it works. Everything's connected.
And just throwing it out there, if you don't listen to our 9/11 episode, you've forgotten and are not a patriot. So
Yes, that is actually how I'm going to advertise this on Facebook. I'm going to get the uncles.
that might actually work on the
Yeah, it might.
all those people who think we're Nick Cage. We'd probably get a spike in listenership if you're a real patriot, if you're a true American. A, buy our colloidal silver. B, listen to our 9/11 episode.
Also, buy our Nazi gold. We have some.
Wait, do we have Nazi gold?
Yeah, what do we
Why are
get
we
Nazi
sitting
gold?
on that, man?
That's all the swastikas. It makes it real hard to move. It's
Melt
actually been
it.
a lot. It's been a
Melt
lot.
Very
it.
low melt point.
I know multiple people that have fucking kilns. We can get this shit melted
That is
down.
the least
Well-
surprising thing you've said all episode.
Well, no, because I actually think that swastikas probably are going to inflate the value, like in
Well-
about like 2 months when something happens with Ron DeSantis. I'm sure.
With a certain subs. First of all, DeSantis has all of the charisma of
Yo, I
chronic
love that.
gonorrhea,
I
so
love
he's
that
not
debate
going anywhere,
so
dude.
much. I fucking loved it. It was great. I watched the whole thing. It was awesome. I love that the first question was essentially like, "We've all heard this new country song. Why do you think it's the best song ever written?"
Jesus.
It
Did
was
you catch
so good.
the tongue move from DeSantis on that?
I didn't
Yeah,
know
oh,
any
yeah.
of it. I value my sanity.
So
No, it was
bad.
good. It was great. Like, I always watch Republican debates because they're fucking insanity.
I don't know. I will say this for Ron DeSantis. I'm excited to have like an Uncanny Valley candidate this year.
Mhm.
It's he looks like a character in a bad Bethesda game.
So
You
a
mean
Bethesda game.
A Bethesda game.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's say, have
Yeah,
they
but
made
like
a
you
good
got a
game?
really straight like Andromeda, Mass Effect Andromeda ass looking motherfucker. All right, that's gonna do it for us.
Looking like the Republic of Dave from fucking Fallout 3. That's probably what his elections would be like too.
Yeah.
1 vote for Ron, 2 votes for Ron. Okay, stop the count. I win.
All right, thank you for tuning in. All I can do is thank you guys for even listening to this and give you the Nick Cage Fight podcast guarantee. Tune in next week and we'll give you another 2-star episode, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And as always, listeners, we appreciate you.